Garbha Geeta. Lord Sri Krishna has mentioned that whoever reads, hears, or contemplates on this Garbha Geeta is freed from the clutches of birth and death, or Garbhavas, that is, he is not put in a womb to be born again. Arjuna said, O Lord Krishna, because of which fault or deed is a human being brought in a womb? O Lord, when a human is born, he eventually ages and suffers from aging and then he dies. O Lord, by the reason of which action karma is a man freed from birth and death. Then Sri Bhagwan replied, O Arjuna, the human being is actually visually impaired and foolish as he has strong attachment with the world. I have achieved this, and because of my efforts, I will achieve other worldly prizes and pleasures. The worldly minded human is always engrossed in such thoughts. Throughout the day and night, he is just earning for Maya or materialistic pleasures only. Because of constant involvement with worldly desires, a man is born again and again, and repeatedly he faces the sorrow of life and death. Hence, he is repeatedly put in womb to be born again. Then Arjuna asked, O Lord Krishna, this mind is like an elephant. Desires and longings are its strength. The mind is controlled by five senses of sight, smell, touch, taste, and hearing. Desire, kama, anger, krodha, greed, lobha, attachment, moha, and ego, ahankara, are very strong and robust. What is the method to overcome these so that the mind comes under control? Then Sri Bhagavan said, O Arjuna, definitely this mind is as strong as elephant. Desire is its strength and mind is controlled by five senses. Ego is the supreme out of them. O Arjuna, as elephant can be controlled by the use of hooked goad, Ankush, similarly this mind can be controlled by use of goad of knowledge, Jnana. The ego or ahankara becomes the root cause of man falling into hell, Narak. Arjuna said, O Lord, there are the ones who chant your name and roam around in the forest. Then there are others who have renounced everything and others who do righteous deeds. How to know them and who are Vaishnavites? Then Sri Bhagavan replied, O Arjuna, these are those who chant my name and roam around through the forest. They are called sannyasis or renunciates. Then there are others who tie up their long hair on their head, jhata, and apply ashes, bhasma, all over the body. But I am not in them. If they are egoistic, even a faint glimpse of mine is unachievable for them. Arjuna said, O Lord, because of which sin one faces the death of his wife, which sin results in death of person's son, which sin causes a man to become impotent. Then Lord Krishna replied, O Arjuna, if someone borrows something from somebody and intentionally does not return it back, then his wife dies. If somebody falsely acquires something which does not belong to him but rather has been kept in his guardianship or trusteeship, then he loses his sons. If somebody assures somebody that he will be the first one to help in times of crisis or do the task entrusted or assigned to him and accepts full responsibility of a task, but because of his malintentions shuns his responsibility, then he becomes impotent. Arjuna said, O Lord, which sin causes a man to be in ill health forever? Which sin causes a man to be born as a donkey? Which sin causes a slave woman to bear the life of slavery? Why is somebody born as a cat? Then Lord Krishna replied, O Arjuna, whoever takes money for the pious deed of Kanyadhan, the right of handing over the daughter to her lawfully wed husband, suffers from ill health and disease throughout his life. Those who drink liquor for the purpose of committing perversions and indulging in restricted actions are born as a donkey. Those who commit the sin of false testimony, giving false witness, are made to live the life of a slave woman. Women who cooked food and eat it themselves first, then offer it to the god as Naivedya, are reborn as cat. Women who donate their leftover meals or pre-eaten food are condemned to live the life of a slave woman. Arjuna said, O Lord, to some men who have granted gold in abundance as a result of what type of good deed done by them, and to others you have awarded them with elephants, horses, chariots, in return of which pious act. Then Sri Bhagavan replied, O Arjuna, those men who donated gold are provided with horse and elephants in their next lives, and those who do Kanyadan, the tire of the right of handing over daughter to her lawfully wed husband, not in return of some worldly material, but selflessly as a service to the Lord, are given the birth of a nobleman. Then Arjuna said, O Lord, what noble deeds are done by men who have divinely beautiful body. Some men are wealthy and enjoy riches, while some are educated and knowledgeable. What deeds results in forementioned? Sri Bhagavan replied, O Arjuna, such men are granted a beautiful body who have donated food and grains. Those who spread knowledge are born intelligent and knowledgeable, and men who serve saints and spiritual people are blessed with sons.